everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am engraving metal business cards. So these are like an aluminum business card. It's like anodized. I don't know how to say that word, but look for one that sounds like that when you search online. So this is something that I used my Glowforge for. I set up my design in Canva to create the layout, but you can very easily create your design in any design software you're using for Glowforge. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you'll know that I'm a Silhouette Studio user. So I'm going to go over how I set this up and how I set my alignment to engrave multiple cards at a time. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you're ready to get a Glowforge of your own, you can check out the link below to save up to $500 on a new machine. So here I am in Canva. I am a big fan of Canva. I use Canva Premium. I have a link in the description if you want to sign up for Canva Premium. I've done a video here and there on how I use it, but I really like it when I need to do business cards because I'm not big on layout design. So you can see this is the business card we're working with right here. I'm going to make this new tab and show you the template. So I went in there and I basically chose a template, and I grabbed this and this. So essentially, you know, it's pretty basic, but sometimes I have to see it to go. So really, I just took all the text right here and I changed it to Montserrat, however you say it, Montserrat, whatever. It's very trendy. A lot of people like it. So I did that. And then I just went ahead and replaced the logo on this one, which you see right here. Now, this customer provided me the logos in PNGs with transparent background, which created the problem for me because I needed it to engrave, but I also needed part of it to cut for my jig. So that's why we're setting this up in Canva, and I'm going to show you the steps that I take with this. Now, if you can get your customer to give you your logo in an SVG or a vector format, you can bypass a lot of this stuff. You can just set it up in Silhouette Studio and go. But many times when you work with small businesses, you'll find that that's not really an option. So this is my workaround to make sure I can get that done. So I'm going to delete these two pages. Nope, I just added one. So I'm going to delete these pages because we don't need them. And you can see I have my card right here, logo on this side, text over here. Now here's the problem. We need to cut the outside for our jig, but we also need to engrave the text. So if I did this in just this black with white text, I would be running into issues. It would try to engrave the black, and we already have black cards for this. So all I did was I took that file and I made a copy. So you can see right here, a copy. And the customer was able to give me the logo in black and white as well. So I went and just set it up and swapped my colors. Okay, so now we're going to export this and we're going to do a little bit of adjusting in Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to grab this right here and we are going to download. We're going to download it as an SVG and we're going to do a transparent background. So we're going to download both of these pages. We're going to drop it over here and then let me go over and open it in Silhouette Studio. All right, so we're going to bring these in. So that's our first one. And then open the next one. So we got some weird stuff going on, but we're going to fix it. So the issue that I'm running into with Canva is that the logo itself is coming in. It's not able to convert it because it's a PNG. So it's coming in as a box. So we're going to do a couple things to get this going. So let's go right here and I'm going to update my cutting area. You can see it's set to 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to do a full 12 inches. I like to do just a 12 by 12 workspace. And then I'm going to use this bar as a guide. And I'm going to bring in a PNG of the logo. So we will go over here. Oops. So I'm just going to go and open the PNG. So I have the logo folder that the customer gave me. So logo files, and then I'm going to do black on transparent background. And the cool thing about this is that a lot of times people with, when you do the PNG, it comes in as a SVG. So I double click, it'll come in as like a vector file. So now I'm going to take this. This is gigantic. If we look at the top here, this is 69 inches wide. I am going to click on my text, lock it right here, and I'm going to make it pretty small to begin with. Let's just do 4 inches wide and then hit enter. And so it disappeared when that happens because it centers off the middle of where it is. I'm going to click this button right here. I didn't click anything, so my item was still selected, and it brought it to the center of my workspace. So I'm going to copy, Control C, and bring that back over here because I kind of lost it. It wasn't ready. So now you can see we have our text right here. Not our text, our box, sorry. So this is about 3 inches wide. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it, I'm going to make sure this is locked right here. And then just do 2.9 to be safe. Okay, so it looks like the box didn't export with it anyway. Let's see if it did over here. Not really, but that's totally not a big deal. So we're going to create our box for our card and for our jig. So we're going to grab our box, our rectangle tool. I'm going to select that, and now I want to resize it to fit. We want this to be our jig. So this is going to be, we're going to unlock it this time because we're designating. This will be 3.5, hit enter, and then it will be, these cards are a little bit taller than standard ones, so it'll be 2 1/8 of an inch, so 2.125, hit enter. So now we have our card sized, so now we can grab our logo right here, pop it in the middle right there, and that's our first one. So now we can grab his name. I'm going to select this entire thing right here, Control G, group, Control C, copy, and then paste this in this workspace because I want both of these to be in the same workspace. So now I have his name. I'm going to delete this little old PNG because we don't need it anymore. And now I'm going to do my favorite duplicate tool, my favorite way to duplicate. I'm going to hold down the Alt button while I'm hovering over that square, click and drag, and now we've made a copy. So now I'm going to grab both of these right here, select both of them, and then center it in there. So that's the base of our business card. We're going to create this into a jig, but also we need to set this up as different cuts and different functions because I want this square to cut in a different pass than the text, and I want these two sets of text to cut in different passes as well. So I'm going to hold down Shift, click on the first square and the second one, and I'm going to turn that line color into like black. Basically, everything has to have a different line color. Let's grab this guy, or those words, make that line color green. And then this should be red, but I always like to click red just to be safe. And now we're all good to go. So now we're gonna set up a template. I have to do 9 of these. And so we're gonna do a different setup to do this. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm sorry I'm fumbling over my words. I'm like still trying to figure out in my mind the most efficient way. Like I think I can always do it better. So just don't mind me. So we're gonna grab this and I am going to ungroup this actually because I want to make another copy of this card. And then I'm just going to center it in there. And now I'm just making copies. So my favorite duplicate tool, I'm hovering over the 2, holding down the Alt button, then clicking and dragging to make my new copies. Now I'm just using my arrows to line it up, and I'm just centering everything on each other and making a copy below here. So I'm filling up this sheet to do 12 of these, or 12 by 12. And I'm making sure that I'm selecting all of the inside, so the name, and I'm grouping them. And now I am taking the logo and putting it inside the square. And I'm hitting that button at the top, that little center, and so it's centering the logo in the square. So you just want to make sure you have both the logo and the square selected to center it. You can see I'm having trouble with buttons over here, but I just repeated it, just dragging it over, clicking the rectangle, and then hitting center so that I can have it centered right within there. And I'm just going to continue this on. And here I am in the process realizing that I'm going to be using an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper as my guide. So I may not even be able to do all of these in one pass anyway. So let me do 11 width and 8.5 tall. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these two over here. So I need to right click and ungroup the words right here. So now this is even easier. I'm just going to do 2 runs with this. So we're going to save this one time. So what's happening is I'm creating these squares to line up my card, and then both sets of words are going to have different line colors so that they run in different sets. Okay, so I'm going to show you, this is a really weird fluke thing that happens a lot of times when people are exporting SVG, particularly out of Canva, is that you have all these ghost layers with some of the items. I'm just going to go here and click ignore. You'll know that they're like the ghost items because they look a lot lighter in the preview compared to down here. You can see that the actual one's right there. So we're going to ignore all of those. Again, this is why it's better to just get the SVG. But you know, it happens. So we have this, we're going to ignore it. And now we can take our design over here. You're going to see the ghost layers. Oops, let me hit Control Z. You're going to see the ghost layers behind it. Don't worry about it. We've ignored it. Okay. So we have it right in here. I have my piece of paper in there. I have cardstock in there right now. And now I'm going to drag my actual steps I'm going to do to the top, because I don't want to have to keep looking for it anyway. And it showed me that there's more anyway. So we're going to ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. Again, not really what we want, but you know, that's what I have for this design, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So we're dragging this to the top. This just puts it towards the top of the steps, and it just makes it easier on me anyway. That's going to be the first step anyway, because we're going to cut our jig. And now you can see this is for sure the logo. And the way that you can test it as well is if we go right here, just dragging it up. Okay, so if you see right here, if we just go ahead and ignore those as well, and ignore this, you can see right here, if we were to just engrave it and just do whatever, 1/4" plywood, you can see it turns dark right here. That's what we're looking for. That's the placement. That's not what we're going to do right now, so we're going to ignore this. So we're ignoring both sets of text right now, and we're cutting our jig first. So the way that the jig works is that it has that square around it to line up our design, line up our item. Because we're going to use the same spot, the way we place our item in after, it's going to line up right in the middle of our card. So I'm going to set this to 20-pound copy paper, and I'm going to do just a cut. With this, it won't actually cut all the way because I'm using cardstock, but it works really well for what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to hit print, and you'll see it cut, and then we'll set up our next set. Alrighty, so now this is where we're going to adjust our design. So you can see we have our file in here, and you can see our cards are in there. So I'm going to switch this to use uncertified material, and I know my cards are 0.08 inches. I got that from my product description. This is a good time for you to get calipers. Calipers will help you with that as well. So now we have that in there. It'll say no artwork for now, but I'm going to choose engrave. And then I saved in a setting metal business cards. This is borrowing from the engraved settings from the Apple iPhone setting. So that would be speed 1000, precision power 100 with 450 lines per inch. So now you can see they look like they're in a pretty good spot over here. We're all set to go. So let's see how it goes. So we'll go ahead, we'll hit print. Let's double check to make sure all of our other random settings are ignored. Yes, we're good. It's just this. And then let's turn off the settings for the squares. So now you have just your candy coating ceramics. All right, so let's print. Alright, so I just swapped out the cards while I flipped them over. So we're going to go right here, go back, we're going to ignore that set, and now we're going to engrave, and we'll do our metal business card setting again, 1100, and then we want to use uncertified material and make sure it's set at 0.08. That's how tall our cards are. So you can see it readjusted. We have our name set there, and let's print. Alright guys, so here is the finished product. I think it turned out really nice, and this is a good metal card. I found a bunch of different ones on Amazon. Right now I'm just shopping on Amazon because I don't have a whole lot of orders for it, and there were some cards that were flimsier and the reviews weren't super great. So these are 0.08 of an inch. They're nice, substantial, and so these are great for my customer to give to some hot leads. Now, it's not something that, you know, that you're going to hand out to everyone, but it is a nice, fun project with the Glowforge. So you can see some of the things you need to look out for are just like little grease marks from your hands, that sort of thing. So you want to be careful. This does come with a little sleeve that you can keep it until you're ready to give it out. So I really enjoyed this project. Now I did struggle a little bit with the design within Canva. So if you are more familiar with designing in Silhouette Studio, I do recommend just creating your entire design in there. I use Canva because I enjoyed having the layout of it already set for me. But as you can see from the video, I did have to do a couple more steps. But really happy with this. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any more uploads. And if you're ready to get a Glowforge of your own, you can check out the link in the description and save up to $500 on a new machine.